The Motorola Razr is the foldable smartphone we've all been waiting for, and this is the box it comes in. It's quite a unique one to say the least, with the phone resting upright. With it, you find a nice accessory box that can double as a case for your sunglasses, and in it you find the Razr earbuds, which feel premium and come with braided cables. There's some tips to adjust fit in your ear, a Type A to Type C braided USB cable, and a Motorola Turbo Power charging brick, supporting speeds up to 15 watts. Now, before getting to the phone, something cool about the box is that it can double as a boombox speaker, with the phone sitting upright, so you don't want to be throwing that away. The Razr itself in its folded state is extremely compact, but weighs about 205 grams, which is quite a bit. It fits easily into your palm, and you can see that it has a small display on there. It's a 2.7-inch touchscreen glass OLED panel that helps you do some basic things like glance at notifications, turn on the flashlight, take a selfie, and access your settings. You also see that the phone has a considerable lip just underneath, with one capacitive button that doubles as the fingerprint scanner. But opening it up, that's where the real magic happens. The main display is a 6.2-inch plastic OLED panel with a 21:9 aspect ratio and HD resolution. Of course, this isn't your typical high-end screen resolution, but it can definitely do the job indoors. Outdoors, using the phone may be a bit of trouble because of its relatively low brightness, and so too can be adjusting to that 21:9 form factor, or so at least for me. Personally, I think you'd need time to adjust how you typically type on the phone, but that just takes a few minutes, and how you interact with the power and volume buttons. On the Razr, they're off to the right side, but the power button in particular is a bit hard to reach, and the volume and power combined are just a bit too small. Of course, being a flip phone, you'd usually want to slam the phone shut instead of pressing the power button, and it actually works. And it's safe to do, so we can excuse Motorola on that front. And speaking of the front, that sort of carries over to user experience. I've just had a few hours with the phone, and the hinge felt quite solid, and because of its design, there was no visible crease on the display either, although I did notice that there are ways for dust to easily get into the display and cause a few problems in the long run. Also, Motorola does claim that the phone is splash proof, but we'll need more time to really find out the extent of this protection because we couldn't really test that out in the short span we had. The other aspect of usage is of course software. So the Razr runs Android 9 Pie powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 710 octa-core chip, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, and with general usage you shouldn't face any trouble. Motorola's software skin is fairly light and resembles stock Android, so that's no problem. It even comes with a neat retro mode for that extra bit of nostalgia, although I'm a bit too young to understand that, to be honest, but I'm sure many of you guys who are watching will be able to. Aside from that though, it's a complete phone. Granted, there's only a single 16-megapixel camera on the device for primary photos, which if the phone is closed can actually be used for selfies, and a 5-megapixel secondary unit when the phone is unfolded. But we haven't had much time to play around with the images just yet, nor have we had time to test the phone's 2510 mAh battery over typical daily usage. Priced at 5,999 dirhams, the Motorola Razr is the first ever phone from the company to venture into the foldable smartphone bracket, with a foldable display of course, and just getting a product out there for consumers is a win for the company. With more time and further testing with the phone, I'll be able to tell you if you should genuinely consider this as your next smartphone of choice, and what you'll need to keep in mind when it comes to taking care of it in the long run. But for now, that's about it. Thanks for watching, do stay tuned for more coverage in the coming weeks, and let us know if you'd like to see anything specific with the phone. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.